Hey there, here's what's coming up in this episode.
What is it just like the mom pouch? What are we going to call that?
I think it's the mom pouch people have all their lives.
I know.
It's that thickening around the middle where you just don't look like a girl anymore. It's just a grandma look. It's called menobelly.
Menobelly. That's what yes.
I've seen that, I think, on some terrible ads that I was targeted by on Facebook.
Yeah. I wonder what I'm going to get now that it's been listening. Like what kind of I'll screenshot and send it to you.
Listen, I should actually put that into the release. By appearing on this podcast, you are telling the algorithm that you want all of the ads about menobelly,
yes.
clitoral atrophy, libido problems, hair loss, eye lifts. Welcome to the My Aloof Vagina podcast, where we explore the distress and surprise of our midlife transitions. We take menopause seriously, but we don't take ourselves seriously. And we believe that learning what to expect in perimenopause can be entertaining. It's inevitable, so we may as well equip ourselves and have a good time. I'm your host, Martha, and this episode was actually recorded before the podcast even launched. My friend Deanna Boyd and I had been talking about what was happening with our bodies and our brains, so we decided to record it. Deanna is a longtime makeup artist and photographer who encourages women to embrace their unique look through her work and with her social presence as unfiltered and evolving beauty. As friends do, we meander a bit. We talk about a lot of things. What exactly is clitoral atrophy? What happens to all our faces as we get closer to menopause that she even notices with the rich and famous? And what do your sleep habits have to do with it? And what key tips does she have around changing your makeup as you age? We've got the answers to all these questions and more in this episode, so stick around. By the way, as always, anything we talk about during the show is referenced in the show notes for each episode. Links, more details, photos, those kinds of things. You can find them anytime right there in your podcast app or at myalooffvagina.com. My favorite part about this podcast has been being able to share some of my favorite people with you. Some of my accomplished friends, my interesting friends. And before I tell you a little bit more about the conversation today, I do want to let you know that I am still away from home. That situation with the older relative who fell and needed surgery has now doubled. I now have two older relatives here, both with osteoporosis, both with dangerous fractures that required surgery. It's been a lot. I mean, I feel like I've aged a decade in the few weeks I've been here, and I'm sure that I look like it. Right now, I'm hidden away up in the treehouse to record, so it might not be great sound quality for this intro, and you may even hear traffic in the background. But I wanted to mention it again because longevity is still on my mind. Osteoporosis is on my mind, and I want to make sure I bring someone on the show to talk about it, to talk about things we can do to avoid it and to improve our experience as we age. So if you know anybody, if you know a longevity expert who's fun or funny, which might be a stretch, or you have any other suggestions for me and the show, please send me a DM on Instagram or reply to any Sisterhood email and let me know. Now, one key part of healthy aging is making sure you're having fun and choosing fun. And Deanna and I definitely have fun in this conversation. She mentions in passing a book that helped her realize she was in perimenopause. That book is linked in the show notes for you. So this chat opens with me asking her what she's noticed about this stage of life. Symptoms they're experiencing. Because I'm cataloging these now. Because no one told me, no one ever told me.
So I'm starting to notice just the differences in my skin, like how the skin hangs. That's been a big thing.
Your jowls. You keep referencing your jowls.
Right here. And then the one eye that's drooperier than the other. And
can we talk about that? Can we just talk about the one eye? Because I never.
Are you noticing?
Well, I already knew.
It's slight for you. Okay. So that would be your right eye. Look at my right eye is the same. If you're noticing celebrities our age.
Well, yeah. So let's talk about that because I always had hooded eyes. I always had one eye that was smaller than the other. But when you and I were talking a couple months ago, you mentioned as a throwaway line, you know how one side will age differently in one eye. And I had never heard that. So please explain this one eye thing. What is the story?
Well, most likely you're around our age range. So you're going to probably notice, and I hate calling out names, but they're out there, but like Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Gwyneth Paltrow, Naomi Watts, around our age range, these actresses that were very popular in the 90s, and you just see it. And here's the thing. It's a rare occasion that you find somebody like Janet Jackson that's perfectly like symmetrical, her eyes. And usually you are going to be a little off, or your nose is a little crooked and things like that. That's what makes us beautiful. Those unique things. It's just the way it is. And it goes with boobs too. Boobs, same thing. One, they're sisters, not twins. Isn't that the thing? Okay. It's like brows.
Mine are cousins.
Cousin.
My boobs are cousins.
They're not even sisters.
No.
So, I just want to throw that out there, and you're beautiful just the way you are. And this is just, if you're starting to see that, it's natural. Botox can't help that. It's a facelift that's going to help that. Or like some kind of surgical eye surgery that's going to help that. Botox is not going to help that. That is a natural part of aging.
You were saying something about, I know our faces aren't symmetrical. And by the way, this is not the podcast where you have to worry about, everyone's beautiful. This is not that podcast. This is a podcast where my vagina wasn't working.
Well,
so.
I know, but I believe there's enough on social media to make you feel bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
So my clients, I just never want them to ever feel that way. As a makeup artist and photographer, I'm like, you are stunning just the way you are. Yes, I can help you with that. Or I can tell you why that's happening. But I never want anybody to feel that bad.
So the uneven part, not the fact that they're not symmetrical, but you said as you age, there's something about like only one side falls or something.
Well, listen, I am not a professional dermatologist, plastic surgeon, whatever. So this is just my opinion. I've been a makeup artist for 30 years. Oh, God. Actually, it'll be 31 years this year. So I know I'm like, ugh. But yeah, I just feel like what I've noticed in my, experience, it's one side that just kind of, and then eventually it evens out, but one side goes further. I don't know if you've noticed that part of your body. This part is just, it's heading downward earlier, and then this other side will eventually match. So
that's what you're saying, is that when we age, what you've noticed, because you're up close on people's faces and paying attention, one side starts to go first. So for a little while, it looks a little bit unbalanced.
That's it. From my experience, that is just what I've seen. And I see it with my clients. I see it with like celebrities. And these are people that pay money to get all the things done. And you can even still see it with them because they haven't had the full facelift, or they haven't had the eye surgery or that kind of thing. So they haven't done that yet. And hey, props to people that do that, whatever makes you feel better, Because
I think I see it on my face for sure. I just am annoyed that it's the same side that was already smaller. So it's just intensifying that. Whereas if it had been the other side, I might have been even for a couple of years.
And that's probably why maybe that side has always been that way, has always been the one that's gravity wise going downward faster.
I don't mean to harp on it. I just found it so fascinating when you said that kind of in passing to me. And I said, hold up. Here's the other thing. A friend of mine, her mom used to have this party trick. She could tell what side you sleep on because 100%. Of the crease. So I have been trying probably for a decade to sleep on my back. I mean, I sleep with a silk pillowcase, but I try to sleep on my back as much as possible. Of course, I wake up on my side and look at me and say, "Oh, I know you sleep on this
on
side."
Your right side." Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? And that could possibly contribute to that too. Definitely. I have had neck surgery, so I sleep with like a neck pillow, and it's a satin one. I have one that I can definitely recommend.
Ooh, and we'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah, Nurse Jamie, I think it is. And I love her pillow because if you are a side sleeper, so it does the neck thing, which is actually really supportive here, but she has this really unique pillow. It's a weird shape. I'm trying to think of how to describe it, but it has this area where if you do sleep on your side, it's open.
Oh.
So yeah, so there's less scrunching.
I want that pillow. Okay.
Yes, I will show. Yes, I will show it to you. It's fabulous, but it's really great for neck support too.
That's good. I'm all about gadgets and things.
Yes.
And the silk pillowcases, people, oh wow, I'm like, why wouldn't I? They're not that expensive.
Yes.
It's good for my hair. It's good for my skin. And I change them more often because I'm aware and paying attention. So,
oh yeah, that's true. That's a whole other thing on just like sleeping on a dirty pillow. The one thing I was going to say too, not only with like my face, but it's that little front area right here, the little pouch.
Like on your stomach? Okay. Our
right
mom pouch?
Yes. I think they call it a fupa. Isn't that what it is?
Oh, is it a fupa? I thought fupa was lower. But I don't know technically.
I don't know. All I know is it's like the little tummy portion above the fupa.
Yes, right.
What is that? Why?
Well, I was fatter on the stomach. Like I still don't have like a narrow waist or a flat stomach.
Yeah,
Right. I had great legs, but more apple shaped. So it was never super flat. I always carried fat there, even when I was thin. But then I had that surgery with the fibroids, which was basically a cesarean, but no babies, just giant fibroids. So I had now a cesarean scar and a cesarean incision. And since that happened, now I have that like shelf, which I never had before, which really was upsetting to me because, 0 to 45, none of that. Now I've got that. I don't understand.
It's very normal. It's hormonal. And even for the women that do work out and they have typically had like a flat stomach and they're even noticing like that area is just hard unless you're doing something surgically to kind of help it,
So you're not talking about just the mom pouch. You're talking about menopausal increased fat around your middle.
That's what I'm noticing. Yes. It's just all around cortisol levels and things like that. Sure.
The thickening around the middle.
Yes.
It's why women wear these big flowered tops that like tie at the boobs to create like a curtain.
Or Spanx.
Or older women whole dressing thing where, listen, I shouldn't even say this out loud because it's going to be me, where they wear outfits that highlight their legs because their legs still look good. That this whole kind of fat middle thing doesn't exist. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know. I
have that build anyway. I have a feeling it's going to get worse with menopause. Like that's going to be my look.
No, it's not going to be your look. We can change that. We can fix that. Come on, we can fix that. But I think we're not our parents 52, Right. So when you're talking about dressing.
We're not Golden Girls 52 because they were in their 50s.
Yes. And the youngest one was in their 40s. Yes. Yes.
It just goes to show that those style choices can make such a difference in how you feel and how you look. And you can disguise your pooch or whatever, your menopause.
What is that called? Is it just like the mom pouch? Is it, what are we going to call that? Maybe there's a name for that.
I think it's the mom pouch people have all their lives. This is that thickening. It's that thickening around the middle where you don't look like a girl anymore. It's just a grandma look. It's called menobelly.
I know. Menobelly. That's what yes.
I've seen that, I think, on some terrible ads that I was targeted by on Facebook.
Yeah. I wonder what I'm going to get now that it's been listening. Like what kind of thing? I'll screenshot and send it to you.
Listen, I should actually put that into the release. By appearing on this podcast, you are telling the algorithm that you want all of the ads about menobelly, clitoral atrophy, libido problems, hair loss, eye lifts, collagen.
I think you just need one podcast on the clitoral atrophy. I've heard a little bit, I've read a little bit, but I'd like to understand your experience more.
Yes. I've actually posted an episode that I'll send you a link.
Ooh, okay. It
is the flagship affliction of this podcast. So I'm happy to talk about it briefly.
Yes.
So
myaloof vagina.
Myaloof vagina is just, a different way to refer to clitoral atrophy. Clitoral atrophy. Yeah. So clitoral atrophy, or what we call CA, is a real thing. It has to do with a combination of hormone changes, but also lack of use because our body is very efficient and it's not going to spend a lot of resources keeping your clitoris fully plump with full circulation and nerve sensitivity if it's not being used because it's just a sensory organ. Mm-hmm. If you're not using it, you're just neglecting it and you're not getting aroused and having all that erectile tissue fill up with blood, then over time it just atrophies. The clitoral atrophy actually results in it shrinking, so it's less accessible and then harder to get it erect again. Bring it back to life. The other thing that people don't know is that your clitoral spongy tissue that gets engorged is actually a whole figure 8 around your body. So it's from what we know. Now, men might not know. Have you seen in my logo, that star is the clitoris? So
it makes sense now. It's
right there. Everything is right there. It's that spot. And they go in and are rubbing it like an eraser, right? Because once I know where the little man in the canoe is. And so they go there, but it really, all the nerve endings and everything goes all the way around in your vulva and your vagina and then crosses in between, like in the, I don't know how to say the word. Is it perineum or perineum? The taint.
The taint.
Yeah, it crosses
Yes.
up the chain, because this is not a medical podcast.
Yes, please. Yeah, please do not come here for that.
Yeah, and surrounds your anus, your
Yes.
butthole. And then it also goes inside. There are legs of it that go into your vagina, which leads to what is your G-spot. The G-spot's not a separate thing. It's just where some of the spongy tissue ends up inside your vagina. It's all connected. The outside clitoris, that's the canary in the coal mine. If that starts to recede and go into the hood and you can't get it to work or it's not sensitive, that's just because that is like dying from lack of use and hormone and circulation. So then that leads to other issues because all those muscles are together. So it's not unrelated to incontinence. It's not unrelated to other vaginal atrophy and dysfunction. It's not unrelated to pelvic floor health. It's all together. It's not just a sex issue.
Sure.
It's a pelvic health issue. In my case, from being celibate and through some masturbation-free years out of guilt and an old toy, frankly, if I'm honest, I had been using the same style toy for 20 years.
There's so many choices now. I mean,
so I had to switch it up because and so, since it wasn't working, I wasn't doing it and I didn't have a bathtub. There are all these things that were leading to less of that. So when I was surprised with a fun, unexpected sexual encounter, that was the, oh, hey, this isn't working properly, the alert. And then when I went and did the research, I realized that, but that was a mild case. Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
That research led to everything else because once I was aware of that, I realized, oh, I am in perimenopause. And then I started recognizing the other symptoms and then doing all the other research. But it all started because,
what is wrong with you?
It wasn't working. Like it worked, but it kind of felt like, I can speak openly because I'm not in that relationship anymore. And I was so sensitive and worried about his ego and everything. But there were times when I thought, shouldn't I be feeling more right now? Like, shouldn't this feel different?
Yeah.
And then I felt self-conscious and responsible because, it's always our fault if things aren't wonderful. Right? Like, oh, maybe I'm frigid, whatever, all those things.
But that is not my opinion.
It's not the truth, but we're such caregivers and we feel so responsible that it had to be an amazing experience. And if my sexual organs were not responding properly, now I was at fault. Although I don't hold a guy at fault if he has any kind of ED issue, right? But I totally took it upon myself.
Or maybe it wasn't that good,
Here's the thing.
You could tell something. You could tell something was
was wrong. But I will tell you this now that it's over, and I wouldn't have been able to say this before. I think that the good sex I was trying to recover with him as I was going, and I was just really invested in it being great because when I reflected more objectively, it was just any sex in a storm. Any sex in the quarantine and that it had been so long. But also once I realized that there was a dysfunction, I was so focused on fixing that dysfunction. I kind of ignored that overall it was fine.
Yeah. It
wasn't wonderful. But at the time I was really invested in believing that it was great and fabulous and that this was the one issue, but really
so much
overall. No, like I'm like, oh, that was great, but I'm not going to remember it as this amazing sexual compatibility or experience. But I'm grateful because I wouldn't even have noticed.
Yeah.
I would have been a couple more years down the road, possibly just because of my nature. I'm not really a hookup gal, obviously, by the celibacy. So if he hadn't shown up, like with his dick in his hand, literally, like he was just
legit
delivering it
right there. Yeah.
I mean, legendary, epic, bravo, crap. I still am so impressed with his ballsiness.
Yes.
No pun intended, but like really very impressive, hilariously impressive. But if he hadn't shown up, I would have been 2 more years, maybe longer.
Oh yeah. And not
down the path of degradation and atrophy. And for me, some hormone deficiencies, who knows? So it all works out great. And I'm not going to sneeze at any sex because it was still fine. It was great, because I was there and I'm pretty good at this.
Yes.
But it wasn't dreamy.
Yeah.
It just, I was distracted by the concern about my own functioning. And so
I would be too like what is wrong with you? Come on now. Come on.
I was betrayed.
Come on, come on now. Work for me. Yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting to just think about that whole thing. I was doing Kegels while we're talking. I'm like,
let's do those again.
Kegels. Like as you're talking about, I'm like, no atrophy, nothing.
That helps with circulation for sure.
And I've been trying to do more of those. They say when you're pregnant, you should do that or whatever. And you should just do it in general. I forget about it until we start talking about that. Or if I read something, I'm like, oh, got to do it. Got to work on it,
I will add this because of course I'm obsessed, right? And so I've been researching, and there's a whole specialty now on pelvic floor health and people who do pelvic floor therapy and interventions and things. And what they're saying now is that Kegels are not necessarily the best way to do it. They're good for you because even when you do it, like right now with my eyebrows, right? I'm doing it. I can feel that there's more blood flow, right? Like I could get myself excited, right? If I work on it, right?
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Just because it's like a lot of attention there. So it's good for you. But to do too many can strengthen just one part of your pelvic floor and can cause an imbalance. Nowadays, they have exercisers.
Like what you like shove it up in there and do what?
Yeah, I don't really know. I haven't actually gone deeper in because I did buy myself
deeper in.
I did buy myself something called a VFit, which is do you know about this?
No, but I feel like I've seen that. It's probably my algorithm is probably why.
I'm sure you're getting ads because we're friends. So VFit is, I don't know what it is right now, but it was like a $500 device. My friend's like, you're buying a $500 vibrator? I'm like, all in the name of research. I mean, I bought myself a Dyson Airwrap. Why wouldn't I buy myself, the equivalent of my a vagina appliance? The VFit uses red light therapy. So there's red lights which we know is proven to help keep the tissues fresh and moist and healthy and a certain kind of vibration. And then you use it every other day and then it helps with health. If that's just one thing, it keeps things revved up, but it's not a sex toy. Not that you can't use it that way. No, it depends on.
Wait, does it feel like a sex toy?
It depends on the mood I'm in.
Right.
If I'm like scrolling through the news and doing my 10 minutes, it's just
it's just therapy.
If I'm like, ooh, I should do my VFit. It's like anything else. In a certain mindset, I'm like, oh, and I can take care of other things at the same time. But it does vibrate, but it's internal vibration. It's specific to, I imagine if that's what gets you excited, then that would for sure be a sex toy. Obviously, with my obsession with the external, that's not really
your thing.
Not currently. Anyway, things change. Life is long.
Change. Hello.
Hey there. I'm popping in to tell you that the VFit did not cost $500. I paid $500 for a Dyson Airwrap, so I must have confused it. But you can actually pay even less than I paid on any VFit purchase by using my codes or my links. In the show notes, you'll find a link for a special limited time offer for the MyAloof Vagina bundle, where your price on a complete VFit starter kit is actually less than the regular price for the VFit alone. The kit comes with the gel, the cleansing wipes, and other things, and you save more than $50 on those bonuses. The code for that is MAVKIT, and it's available only while supplies last. Or you can pick any products you like, including the VFit Gold, and get 10% off everything with MAV10. You'll see the discounts applied in the shopping cart. I recommend the VFit to all my friends. You and your maturing vagina can thank me later. There are different exercisers that even have feedback and apps. I haven't looked into them, but I will now that we've talked about it, where you stick it in and you use different muscles or whatever. The whole point is I always thought Kegels and would do them. And now,
and I'm like, as I'm focused, what'd you say?
Well, I can't hear you. I'm healing. I think it's another symptom of the attention to our health that's shifting. But it's interesting to me that it's not in the medical field. It's all commerce. It's the VFit. It's doing the research whether Kegels are really the best way. So now someone sees an opportunity and sells a gadget, as opposed to the doctors saying Kegels are not the way. Instead, private industry,
women's health in general. The
beauty industry is where it's happening.
That's just the way people shop anymore, and the way they do things is all influenced by whether it's friends or influencers or that kind of thing, or something you read, watch, whatever, a celebrity endorsed it, yada, yada. I do think since this is like, God, it sounds so saying it from a 52-year-old, but things are just so different now. The way we communicate, the way we share information, why not talk more about this is what's lacking in the medical industry? More focus on women and aging women and women that are going through this time of life. And you're starting to see more of that. And it's not just because the algorithm says so. It's because it's just our generation. We're just like, listen, we're loud and but you need to help us get through this period, And I think there's just more information, more doctors that are focusing on that. The book that I was talking to you about, I'm throwing this disclaimer out here now.
You don't need to give the disclaimer.
Okay, I don't?
No, I don't want a disclaimer. It's a useful book. She's a specialist in women's health, and I think the book is useful. And I also have seen her as an expert in women's health for a very long time. So
Same. Yeah. I mean, everything I've researched on her, and she was one of the first people like saying, listen, there is not enough funding. So I've had to create my own facility to help women during this time. They're not freaking just losing their mind. So
Dr. Christiane Northrup, long history of being someone who focuses on our rhythms and our health holistically and spiritually, energetically, but also she's a gynecologist.
Yes.
So she's a legitimate expert and has been talking about menopause and change for years and years. And this book that you read, what's the title of that book?
It's funny because I almost got it.
Yeah, show notes. So when we were talking about you being a makeup artist for more than 30 years, more than 30 years. So I know that, listen, I didn't even own any makeup until you and I had a consultation.
You had some things. Come on now.
You were like, throw that away. Throw that away.
Throw it away.
I didn't have any foundation. My brushes were sad and old. I went to Sephora with a list. My friend says, buy these things.
I know. I love it.
So it was great. And I did it. And now I have makeup, and I wear makeup more than ever now. Thank you.
Yes.
And I feel like I have all the things I need. Part of that probably was that I had aged. I was still doing things the way I would have done them when I was 25. And we've talked in the past about you have techniques and some things that women can do as they get older. There are changes, right?
Oh, yeah. I've got a lot of them. We'll have to do another podcast on that, like just full blown. If you can take 2 takeaways from today.
Yes, please. And then we'll come back and we'll do a whole thing about that.
Yes. It would be fun because I deal with, girls that are your tweens to women in their 70s. So I'm dealing with women of all different age ranges. But the one thing that I will say is we don't need foundation to cover up every single thing. It really is less is more. I love makeup. So I love the eyeshadow, eyeliner, whatever, but especially in person, less is more. Spot conceal versus like a full mask of foundation. Foundation really should just be to even out the skin tone and then to come in with spot concealer. Like I have some really big dark sunspots on certain parts of my face. I have hereditary dark circles that I blame on my dad because they are hereditary. So covering those up. And I just think that with makeup, this is my second biggest thing. I know there are techniques to like lift and do these things. I believe that if you're just happy wearing the way you like to wear your makeup, and if that's a big, bold lip, yes, you do it because makeup is such an expression even until you're 95. You know what I mean? Like there's people on social media that I follow that, are models and they're in their 70s and still wearing a bright red lipstick, hot pink. I'm pro-aging. You know what I mean? It's such a blessing to age, right? It's such a privilege to age because we know how short life can be. Have fun with your makeup. Of course, there's ways that you can look fresh and yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, I want you to still share your personality.
So the 2 tips are, and as I'm like staring at your face and then look at my face, and I'm so concerned about the lighting, but also like you look beautiful and fresh, and I'm like pulled together.
No.
But because of preferences on also you have a different complexion than I do.
Well, but I did spot conceal.
Yeah.
But I'm not wearing a full face of foundation either.
Yeah. Like, the 2 tips are you don't need a full face of foundation. You can just spot cover it, and that's what you do to look fresh when you're in person and to maintain your personality. So makeup's for fun. So if there's something you love, like a bold lip or a certain kind of eyeliner or something that you like to do, keep doing it. You don't have to change it just because you're aging.
Or just because nothing bothers me more, and this we can get in onto the other podcast, but is watching social media influencers telling me, this is wrong. Stop this. Don't do this. It just drives me crazy. So it's like, watch who you follow, but I follow people that like feed me, you know what I mean? Like give me good information, but I'm going to still do what makes sense to me. If I want to wear a full blush like I always do, hell yeah, I'm going to do what I want because that feels good to me. I'm just all about doing you. And especially with makeup, of course, there's techniques. Of course, you can do things to accentuate and lessen the appearance of whatever. But at the same time, it's like, it's still being your personality. To me, that's more youthful than anything else.
Well, I think that's a good place for us to end because really the message is one of the gifts of aging is knowing who you are and allowing yourself to just be you. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourself and take care of your vagina. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend you think would enjoy it too. And one of the surprises of the show has been how great it is to hear from you. Remember to find me the next time you're on Instagram to let me know what you think. Look me up at My Aloof Vagina.